So here we got the Tops Fieldcraft folder. I think this might be review time for that. And next to that is my Cold Steel Recon 1, because that's going to be kind of the comparison knife. And then this, I kind of picked this up. It was issued to me, and I kept it. Kind of a, I think kind of a generic folding saw. It says, all it says on it is Taiwan. Somewhere on here. Otherwise, just a simple folding saw. It does the job though, which is kind of cool because I kind of think, being how well this actually works, I think one problem it has is it's got really thin blade. But if you got one who bought one, maybe got a little that's light, super lightweight, but probably get better steel. That'd be cool. So getting back to the old bushcraft folder, what is this thing, like 4.5 inch-ish, 1095 high carbon steel, made in USA, made in Idaho, folding bushcraft knife with a really cool pocket clip. I really like this knife. I've had this since last April, or actually March. I started using it in April because I went on a long road mountain bike camping trip, backpacking excursions included, down in Colorado, Utah, and in April and May. And I took this is what I used the whole time. I also had another knife with me, but that was my primary for everything go-to knife. Of course, I didn't do a lot of, there's like a lot of sagebrush and stuff, so I wasn't really using the knife on wood for most of it. And a lot of juniper. Juniper's not really that fun to carve on. But you can see there's some staining. That's actually from an MRE. I can't remember what flavor it was, but that's an MRE. Just burned it immediately. No big deal. It is what it is. At least I'll have that on there if it doesn't wear off, and I'll know where it came from. So you got this thing, natural micarta. It's pretty cool. It's got good texture, good grip. Like I said, or I don't know if I said it, but really cool pocket clip. I like it. It's kind of got the kind of Duracoat covering on it or something like that, kind of like bed liner, truck bed liner coating almost. High traction maybe. It's got a bow drill divot. I did not use that yet. Not that I'm against using it, but I could probably, I don't know if I really want to be wearing on my knife handle. I don't have the sheath. It comes with a really neat leather sheath, which I've not used. I usually, in fact, I have my Buck 110 on me right now, so I'm not against wearing a belt sheath, a sheath knife. But this one, it does come with a clip. I kind of find the Buck more, I don't know, more worthy of carrying on the belt. So this is just pocket. It's fairly heavy. I'm not sure the weight. I would want to say 7 ounces, maybe, give or take ½ ounce. It's probably not quite as heavy as a Buck 110. In fact, I actually have, let me pull that out. This one I have with me, it's not a 2-dot. I think it's a 4-dot, you'd call it. So it doesn't have 440C steel, but it does have 425M. Doesn't say that. I'll do a review on this knife too. Really cool though. Got on eBay a year or two ago. Just mint. Obviously it needs to be polished up, but I'm glad the guy that I bought it from never did polish it up. It was never used. The sheath is really cool. You know, it's all in the box, brand new, unused. I mean, completely unused. Just had some of that, staining, or, you know, the brass got oxidized a little bit, or whatever you'd call it. Not patina. It's not rust by any means. Like, I think brass does not rust. So there they are in a row. I'm out at a mountain bike trailhead right now. It's near a highway, so I don't know if you can hear the traffic. But it's got this cool fence, so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and do a review on this bad boy, because I got it with me. And hell, I got that guy too. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, I really like this knife, though. I have used it in Oregon, Central Oregon, and also Western Oregon. Done a little bush crafting with it. Nothing super special. It does a trick, though. I will not be batoning with this knife at all. I like it too much to beat on it. But I don't know if it's focusing. There we go, maybe a little bit. The liner lockup is good. If you do use it, reef on a little bit, it'll move over, but it still gets up into maybe 60%. Maybe the liner is not, if this makes sense, the lock is not quite flush with the blade, even when you do put a lot of torque on it. So according to the clock or the watch, I would say it's got lots of time left. And then also, if any issues, I can send this into Tops and they can fix it. But kind of the reason that caught my eye, well, was a Scandi grind. And I have a couple issues with that, maybe. It doesn't seem like it's like a true Scandi grind, because I just have a more companion with a true Scandi, which I really like. I have been putting just a little tiny micro bevel on it just to save it a little bit. But otherwise, I prefer this. I wish I had a true Scandi, because what it has is a Scandi, and then it's got a secondary bevel on it, which I don't know if you can really pick that up, but I don't know. I've been sharpening that secondary on my Sharpmaker at 30 degrees. It seems to be about what it is. But the only reason why I have not gone ahead and just reprofiled it is because I don't want to dick up the black paint on the flats, but I don't know. We'll see. Eventually I might try to do something about that. Because it's really easy sharpening, and I think this 1095 is going to be pretty easy to sharpen, just with the Sharpmaker rods, which I plan on using. So I will do that, because if I put that, I've been out here doing some whittling back to back. I've actually done it a couple times. I've used my this for one. Now I have had this. I got this, like, I don't know, a month now ago. Recon. This, I find this cuts better. Actually, wood slices better. And it's pretty comfortable for me. I just grab it like this if I'm doing woodwork. Choke up on it like that. Doesn't seem to be a problem. And you can also do this, but I feel like I get better force like this. And this is the second Recon I've had. So I have had used these. You know, this one now, I've used this pretty hard. Gotten a pretty good feel for how it operates, and then how your hand feels after a couple hours of using it, and it's positive, A+. This thing, it's comfortable. I would like to change the angle of the grind, the edge. It's not quite, it honestly is not quite comfortable, at least for my hand, because it seems to want to dig in because it's wide, or it digs into like kind of like my thumb. I got kind of bony hands. It's not uncomfortable. I guess I could move my grip around a little bit and avoid that, but sometimes I do feel it kind of digging at me. Otherwise, though, it's pretty comfortable. And if you just grab it like this, you're pretty close to that edge. You don't really need to choke up. And I don't think I have yet. Felt the need to. It's good long handle, long grip. And it's draw cut. It's good. Liner lock, it's pretty solid. I haven't had any issues with that, even with putting force on it, because like you can push and it can stick, and you could be pulling it back, and I haven't had it want to disengage at all. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing any batoning, anything really rough with it, any more than I would any other folding knife. I'm not rough on folding knives. This one's probably been the roughest on this one, and I mean that's all straightforward because everything it's getting is all positive force, you know. So I think I could chop with that. I haven't had a need to yet, but I probably would not hesitate to chop with that a little bit. So I think, let me see this real quick. Yeah, all these standoffs are the same size. So if this one were to get nicked up or anything or bent, you could always swap it out with one of these. There's 3 extra. You got 1, 2, 3 more. And you can just take it apart and transfer one of these up here. They're all the same size. And if anything happened to the blade, you know, I mean, I would just send it back in. But I'm pretty confident it. You know, if you're concerned about weight, it is a weighty knife. Though it's never been an issue of mine. Because I was backpacking with this thing, and they do send a little oil. I think it's just pretty much pivot oil. So I have put oil on the pivot to keep that from rusting, and I have put a little on the that primary bevel there a little bit, just to see if I can clean up some of the spotting, because it is getting a little patinaed. Like I said before, I'm not concerned about that. That's fine. So I think it's a good knife. I would say the only weakness of it for a folder is the weight. But you know what? If you buy this knife, you're buying it because of what it is. It's a large folding bushcraft Scandi ground knife with 1095 steel. And that is exactly why I bought it, and that's why I like it. And it's American made. It's made out here in the West. It's pretty legit. And that's why I bought it, and that's why I like it. If you want to, and it's not built to compete with this. You know, this is a mass-produced knife that's American designed, but it's Taiwanese made, and it's made really well because apparently the Taiwanese really know how to make knives. So they're not really competition, but this is $99. So here's where the competition would come in. So this is $99. This is upwards of $200. I think I paid $199 for it. So I paid $200 for it. I've seen it for $189. I've actually seen it for $169. So you can get it for cheaper. But that was the first place that popped up that I saw it. DLT Trading. And I can't see if they've lowered the price in the meantime, because like I said, this was like last March. I might have ordered it in February. I can't remember, but I got it in March for sure. Saw it, ordered it, super happy. I've had it, used it. I had the fire season, so I didn't use it all the summer, and I didn't use it during the fire season. So, because it will not go to work with me. It's more for, you know, backpacking, and then, you know, just knocking about on my own time. What else can I say? Yeah, so I mean, if you want to spend $99, and I think a good knife for like bushcrafting, for a folding knife, okay, is this for $99. Because that's S35 is what you're getting now. This happens to be XHP because that's what I really like, and I do like it. Holy cow. It sharpens up quick, and it holds a good edge. And just the bevel on this thing, I mean, I don't know, I would say it's probably superior to that. However, that I think I can modify, get it back to true Scandi with a little micro bevel, and I think that it would cut like this. Okay, so I think it's just simply they got kind of an odd grind going on it right now, an odd edge, and I think that's why it doesn't bite in. I mean, it does the job, but it's like, well, if it's designed for wood, then does not quite cut like this does at the moment. But I don't know if that's the end result. I think there's some things I can do to fix that. And this, of course, I baby this particular 110. I have another two other ones that are newer. This one is kind of like just decoration. I always wear it. You know, I don't really use this thing, but it's just a beauty, isn't it? It's kind of tarnished looking, but these things are better than new ones. The new ones are fine, they're cool, but this is just a better constructed knife, I think. It just feels like it's heavier too, I think, a little bit. It feels more solid. It opens more solid, it closes more solid, and it feels, because I have used it to cut into wood and stuff, and I will use this for hunting. This is just a hunting knife and fish. I just I haven't taken it with me yet. So getting back to this. This will not be used on game or fish, I don't think, unless that's all I had on me, just because of that steel. But whatever, I'm sure they'd be fine. And so yeah, I really like this. I would say if this is something, it looks like something from the 40s, 30s or 40s, like Indiana Jones era. That's kind of what it reminds me of. That's what I call it. I kind of call that. It's my Indiana Jones knife, though I realized back then they did not have liner locks. At least I don't think they did. Maybe they did and nobody else knew about it. Maybe somebody was building them. But it just has that kind of old-fashioned look to it, and that's why I really like it. It's just, this looks like it's made out of iron. And it is a solid knife. I mean, those are solid liners. They're not milled out at all. So it does add a little, I don't think they're milled out. Yeah, they are milled out. But it does have some heft to it. Heavy blade. And they balanced it. They made sure it's balanced because that's the balance points. About right there. So that's typical, right behind the finger choil. Kind of, a lot of knives are like that. Yeah. It's cool. I like it. When I use this for a while and then I switch that, this thing definitely feels a lot smaller. It's a much smaller knife. Then you use this for a while, and if you use this and then went to a pair of 3, you'd think the same thing. Or use this and then go back to that, and you think that thing's just huge. So it's just what you're used to carrying for that day. It's definitely not unwieldy. And I think it's worthy for backcountry use. I've used it backcountry use. I just haven't used it specifically like up here in the mountains. It's kind of flat there. Kind of like some lodgepole, little Ponderosa reprod. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. It's definitely a positive. I definitely think this is probably the coolest knife I own, or one of the top 3 coolest knives I own personally. And it's definitely worth the money. I think though, don't buy this one if you intend on really just beating on it, because I mean it is a folding knife. It does have a liner lock, and I'm assuming you could either kind of burr some of that off, make it weak, or you could bend that liner. It's kind of a frame lock, really. They kind of consider it a frame lock just because how big everything is, and it's all one piece. Or this is one piece, the lock side. So it's kind of considered a frame lock. And it feels solid to me. Real solid lockup. Definitely no play, side to side. And it's adjustable too, where if your blade, if it gets loose and your blade is like over in the lock side or out the off side, these both sides of the pivot adjust. So you can like back one off and pull it over, and if that's too loose, then you can tighten up the other side, vice versa. So that's kind of cool. And it stays tight though. It's not it's not a knife you're really flicking out. I mean, it's a two-handed knife. You can do it with one, but it's definitely, I don't know, it's a two-handed knife. So you're not going to get a whole lot of kickback on it all the time to loosen up the pivot. And the pivot is smooth. The one odd thing about it is, if you can see in there, I don't know if you can, but the washers are, the whole pivot's small. I can't say the pivot might be big, but the washers are small around it. But like I said before, it's very firm, very solid. So I have no doubt in its strength. It's just not a fixed blade. I don't know the torque specs on it. I don't know how hard you can beat on that thing, but all right. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, we'll ask away. Hopefully I'll be able to answer them for you. And my feet are beat up from my cycling shoes and ski boots and work boots. So apologies for that.